Cecil Fleckerman is telling us to stay tuned for another big event of the evening. That's right. This year will be the 75th anniversary of the Hunger Games. That means it's time for our third quarter quell. What will they do? Asked Prim. It isn't for months yet. We turned to our mother, whose expression is solemn and distant, as if she was remembering something. It must be the reading of the card. The anthem plays. My throat tightens with revulsion as President Snow takes the stage. He's followed by a young boy dressed in a white suit, holding a simple wooden box. The anthem ends, and President Snow begins to speak, to remind us all of the dark days from which the Hunger Games were born. When the laws for the game were laid out, they were dictated that every 25 years the anniversary would be marked by the quarter quell. It would call for a glorified version of the games, to make fresh the memories of those killed by the district's rebellion. These words could not be more pointed, since I suspect several districts are rebelling right now. President Snow goes on to tell us what happened in the previous quarter quells. On the 25th anniversary, as a reminder to the rebels that their children were dying because of their choice to initiate violence, every district was made to hold an election and vote on the tributes who would represent it. I wonder how that would have felt, picking the kids who had to go. It is worse, I think, to be turned over by your own neighbors than have your name drawn from the reaping ball. On the 50th anniversary, the president continues, as a reminder that two rebels died for each capital citizen, every district was required to send twice as many tributes. I imagine facing the field of 47 instead of 23. Worse odds, less hope, and ultimately, more dead kids. That's the year Haymitch won. I had a friend who went that year, says my mother, quietly. Maisley Donner. Her parents owned the sweet shop. They gave me her songbird after, a canary. Prim and I exchanged a look. It's the first we've ever heard of Maisley Donner. Maybe because my mother knew we wouldn't want to know how she died. And now we honor our third quarter quell, says the president. The little boy in white steps forward, holding on a box. As he opens the lid, we can see a tidy, upright rows of yellow envelopes. Whoever designed the quarter quell system had prepared for centuries of Hunger Games. The president removes an envelope clearly marked with a 75. He runs his finger under the flap and pulls out a small square of paper. Without hesitation, he reads, on the 75th anniversary, as a reminder to the rebels that even the strongest among them cannot overcome the power of the Capitol. The male and female tributes will be reaped from their existing pool of victors. My mother gives a faint shriek. Prim buries her face in her hands. I feel more like people I see in the crowd on the television. Slightly baffled. What does it mean? Existing pool of victors? Then I get it. What it means, at least for me. District 12 only has 3 existing victors to choose from. 2 male, 1 female. I'm going back into the arena.